friends. So in this video I'm going to talk about politics. I think the climate of the nation right now, and just explain like what my thoughts are. Just last week, um, I had a friend who, she was singing like encouraging Bible verses and stuff, and this like went on for a while. I like met her last year on vacation, and then like we kind of stayed in contact. And so like almost every day she had me on a mass list with other people, whatever. She would send these things out to us. And so last week she sent something about Trump, and I texted her back and I said, well, just so you know, I am a supporter of Trump, and that like ended all communications. And I wasn't upset or anything, because the thing of the matter is I'm not going to let anybody suppress my voice. No one. Especially when the Father told me who to vote for, because in Him I seek Him for everything, all decisions and stuff, because that's where you stay on the safe side. And the more I learn about the courts of heaven, I realize the importance of standing with God and everything. And voting is no different. Those are political platforms that you're aligning yourselves with. And the thing of the matter, as believers, we have hedges of protection around us. But that's why the enemy can't just come in and kill you and do different things to you unless he can get you to break the hedge. And one of these ways is, if you're voting the wrong platform, that can break the hedge, because you align yourself with that message, and you're aligning yourself, therefore, with that kingdom, or what's affecting that certain platform. So I vote Republican because I believe in the right to life. I don't think, I believe abortion is murder. I believe that people should have the right to bear arms. That's our Second Amendment right, and I don't think that the government should impose upon that. I think that that people should have the protection of police officers. I am pro police officers. I am anti Black Lives Matter, the group. I know that Black Lives Matter, but no one's going to tell me who to select, because I was just hearing a statistic today that I think in Chicago there were like something like over 2,000 deaths in this year alone, but of those deaths, it was 600 that were Black people, and then of the 600 deaths, there was 6 that were police killed Black people. So you're being fed this narrative, but you have to look at what's really going on what's behind this. And then if Black lives truly mattered, we would start with abortion, because the most unsafe place for Black people is in their mother's womb, because the abortion level and rates are so high. So that's being selective, and to me that whole thing is a wash, and I do not support it. My next thing is where people may not like Trump. I don't dislike the person. I don't. There are things he said I've not agreed with everything, but you know what? That does not matter. My opinion in what he says does not count, because the scripture instructs us to pray for your leaders. So that's what I do. I pray for him. But I do believe that the Father put him in the office to protect us, because certain things go on and we don't see what's going on, but the Father always sees. And especially this stuff coming out on Biden about the son, Hunter, with the Burisma thing. It's a lot of corruption going on there, and I don't want that in the White House. I don't want that leading our nation, because at the root of everything there is a spiritual problem, and people are either accepting counsel from God, or they're accepting counsel from other sources that's not God. And which one do you think is the best to listen to? So I want in that office a person who can hear from God, or at least have humility. And you look at all this chaos and stuff going on, seemingly it's a fight. It's almost like and this is the way I see it. It's like right before you have birth, you feel that the contraction and the labor pain, and it's just, you feel like the waves never stop. They never stop coming. But boom, that baby is birthed. And it's very uncomfortable. It does not feel good. But a beautiful thing is birthed out of that. And that's the place that our nation is in at this moment. So, there are certain things reported in the news, but what you don't see reported that's going on, all these salvations and like spontaneous worship and salvation happening at airports and different places around this nation. So, don't take, because listening to the news and even social media, this whole thing of blocking out and selecting what you can hear and what you can't hear, that's wrong. That's wrong. And that's why you need to be connected with the Father so he can give you a fuller picture of what's going on. And also, you need to be connected with the prophets as well. See, the Father reveals things to you, but he'll always confirm it. And his prophets are the mouthpieces and his servants. So they're going to speak certain things that will confirm what it is that you're hearing, where he's telling you. So the last thing I want to, talk about is, the Democratic platform. I don't agree with most things on that platform. I mean, if you go on the website and you read what's in that platform, it's a very long read. I'll be tell you it's not as long, but if you can just look at certain things that they stand for and the things that they want to do, it's not good. It's not good for the country. It's not good for anybody. And I'm thinking beyond just me and my own feelings, because your feelings will get you had. So you get away from that and you let God be the deciding factor in your life. He's the standard, and allow his voice and not all these other voices. Because I think it was Elijah, he asked him, how long will you be halt between two opinions? Don't take the opinion of the matter. You take the truth from what the Father's saying. Just, connect, because he will tell you. When I walked into that voting booth 4 years ago, he said to me, vote Trump. I had no intentions of voting Trump, but that's what he said to me, and I obeyed. And then I began to see why. So you stick with the Father and truly seek him, about what he's saying and aligning with his will. Because the worst place to be is out of the will of God. And then the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want this video to be too long, is that, they want to push through this Equality Act and make an amendment to the Civil Rights Act. And it sounds nice, but it's not. Because as you go through and you start to read that stuff, it's not okay to me to say, okay, you know what, you're 8 years old, or just like Joe Biden said the other night at the debate, if an 8-year-old is a girl and she wants to be a boy, then she can have gender reassignment. That's nonsense, guys. It's absolute nonsense to me. And the whole thing is to take away the rights of your religious rights. That's the whole point of this. It's very subtle, but as you read through it, that's what this whole thing is about. And so the people who believe in God, they will not have the right to say, well, you know what, this is my belief on this, or this is the stance, this is what the Bible stands, so I therefore stand, and you cannot speak out against that. So to me, that's wickedness, and I do not support that. I support the things of God. I support life. The scriptures say choose life, that you and your generation, your seed will live. So I choose life. I mean, that's one of the big things. It's not the only things. Like I said, I'm pro law enforcement, because the whole thing is that, you see this going on in these different places, and they're not in like the best of neighborhoods. So if you cut the funding of the police, these people will be left unprotected. And you have certain segments of society, the people who actually do have money, they can get high security and, get protection. But what happened to the people who don't? And then a lot of the inner city places and these places we're talking about, defund the police or whatever, they won't have any protection, and they're already dealing with stuff, all kind of crimes and stuff, higher crime rates. I mean, this is just in New York City. So I don't think that's a good idea at all. And then the last thing we'll talk about are taxes. Here's the thing. Joe Biden was saying that he would raise taxes on the people who make $400,000 or more. Here's the problem with this. And that's the thing, you have to be able to think things through. How does this work? And the thing of the matter is that we're not taught about finances in school and how the tax system works. So if he raises the taxes to this astronomical tax rate or whatever, what happens is that people who have all this money, they know how to move around. I mean, you have a mass exodus from to Florida, Tennessee, and Texas because of the lower tax rates or no tax rates. And so these people are moving these businesses and companies out because they can afford to do so, right? But then what happens are the people who can't afford it, they're left to pick up the taxes that's been raised, and so their tax rates go up. And this is what people are not understanding. When you you want to put the tax rate on the wealthy so high, that's going to trickle down to the people who aren't as wealthy, and then you're going to have not a great situation. So anyway, that's my stance. I support President Trump. I support the Republican Party, and I just support, I align myself with what God tells me, and I just have no cares about what anybody says. That's where I stand.